Alrighty, hello, hello. How goes the day? Whew, got everything done almost right on time. Good morning, Amaze. How are you? Let's see. All right. Happy belated World Well Day, everyone. Oh, thanks, Amaze. Doing all right. Doing all right. Well, I hope your Monday becomes better than all right. Let's draw some whales, shall we? So for those who may not know, yesterday was World Whale Day, which is fun, but I don't stream on Sundays, so I'm streaming today instead. I experimented this weekend with some post scheduling, so I was just checking to see if the schedulers worked. If you'll give me just a second, I want to double check and see if it actually posted to the places it's supposed to post. Supposed to post, eh? Alright, yep, got one. Got two. Okay, great. So they both posted this weekend. Excellent, excellent. It's nice when things in technology world work out the way they're supposed to, you know? It's a good time. Alrighty. Oh, look at that. Cool. All my things are working, guys. It's so nice. Okay, so we're gonna start with some whales today. Sorry, I was just checking all my post thingies. So I think I'm gonna start the way we've been starting and just look at some anatomy first. Turns out whale bones are very funny. Very interesting shapes in whales. Ramble signal already? I didn't even start, Amaze. Just testing. Did the sound work? I didn't even hear it. I think my volume is too low on my computer. Hold on, let me turn my actual music down, and then maybe I can turn up my computer volume, and then actually hear things. Let's see. I just have to be really careful because I don't want my microphone to pick up on my music. We'll see. Anyway, hopefully you guys don't start hearing double music, but it did go off. Okay, great. Okay, great. Well, thank you for testing. It does work. I didn't change it. So yeah, like I was saying, whale skeletons. Whales are one of those creatures that I'm just like, man, I am so glad that we still have whales for a lot of reasons. But I mean, can you imagine if we didn't have any whales and we found like ancient whale bones? Let me show you some more. These are not like, dolphins aren't that extreme. I mean, they are, but like this is a prime example of how like soft tissue does not fossilize very often, and it's really difficult to know what the shape of an animal is just based on bones. Since we've been talking about dinosaurs and things like that a lot lately. But man, let me pull up this, this is a slightly simplified chart, to be fair, but just look at the different shapes, right? Like especially the bowhead whale. Can you imagine finding a bowhead whale skeleton if you've never seen a whale before in your life? I mean, this happens now, actually. Like you have, all these clickbait conspiracy theory websites that are like, oh, this crazy creature was found. It's like a mummified whale or something, and it just looks crazy because they do. Like the sperm whale, for example. Look at this dip like it almost, if you didn't know that this was all flesh, you would think that this was like a Triceratops head shield, you know? Like it's kind of crazy. But anyway, um, we're going to be looking at some whale skeletons today just to kind of study them and get an idea of what's going on underneath all that blubber, right? Hold on, let me pull up, I lost my Twitch. Hold please, hold please. Video producer, here we go. Stream manager, okay, excellent. I can actually see what's happening now. Perfect. I'm looking at my alerts and there's just ramble signal, ramble signal. Anyway, that's pretty funny. I need to pull up my manage rewards requests. There we go. Mark is complete. That ramble signal is complete. I can turn the tunes back up. Oh, are they down on the computer too? Oh shoot, hold on. I gotta adjust this. Is that better? Can you hear it? This is tricky. Let me just turn up my desktop audio. There. How's that? Can you hear that now? Because I really don't want to... You can hear it? Okay. Alright, cool. Yeah, I had to turn down the volume on my actual media player. And then, so I'd turn up the volume on my computer. That way I can actually hear the alerts. So I'll just have to make a mental note not to touch the volume control on my VLC. Anyway, I hope everyone's having a good morning. We're just talking about crazy whale skeletons. So we're going to be sketching from a few of these. I figured I'd start with a pretty basic one, the cetacean that we all know and love, a bottlenose dolphin. Found a couple of different skeletal mock-ups of these guys, and then a nice little musculature one. So this will help us, you know, obviously the muscles will be in different places for different types of animals, but yeah. If you want to draw along with me, feel free. I always recommend people set a 30-minute timer and just challenge yourself to draw for 30 minutes. See how far you can get. But if you need these references, they are in the Discord. And let me type that link really fast. There's also a link down below in Twitch. So if you go down to the About section below the video, you'll see lots of links to Discord and social media and all kinds of stuff. So in the Discord, there is a section where I'm posting these reference photos. You can also find them on my Pinterest. They're pretty recently pinned. So kind of like we've done with all of our other creatures, right? We're going to start with finding the big shapes. So like the head, we got the trunk or the chest cavity where all the organs kind of hang out, like all the important organs, heart, lungs, those kinds of things, spine. So it's actually, I mean, it's a really simple creature because you don't really have a hind limb area. You do find sometimes a detached pelvis. So there's like basically a hip bone or a pelvic bone that's sort of just like going away over time, that it's been going away over time for eons, right? Because the animals aren't using them anymore. And so they're just kind of a defunct floating little hip bone. It's kind of funny, if you go to a museum, you'll see these, and I'm surprised they didn't actually include it here. But you'll see these floating around in like big like fin whales and blue whales. They're pretty big, like good size, but compared to the body of the animal, they're very small. So feel free to include or exclude that if you'd like to. There's not really a super big purpose to them, but it's fun to note. It's also why we know, well, it's part of why we know. This blew my mind recently. Well, anyway, found out recently that technically, scientifically, if you get real technical, whales are classified as ungulates, which is like, does not compute, right? Because you think of an ungulate as an animal with legs. But technically, their ancestors were land-dwelling hooved critters, which is so crazy. And that's why there's still those little remnants of hips. But they'll go away soon. Alright, so this is a pretty basic shape. Don't be, you might think, oh, why are you studying, like, whales are kind of a silly thing to study, they're so simple. But There's actually a lot of complexity going on, I think. It's hard to draw a whale that looks accurate. I feel like a lot of people just kind of draw the basic shape of a whale, right? I'm not going to get too into the nitty gritty with the anatomy of the bones and stuff. As always, this is just to give me an idea of, and hopefully to give you an idea of, just kind of where things, like what's going on under the skin, so that when you're drawing the creature, you can put it together in a way that makes sense, right? I am not about to get on stream and tell you that whales are horses, because they are not horses. Not at all. They definitely are both ungulates, though. It's kind of like how all birds are dinosaurs, but not all dinosaurs are birds. It's the same concept. An ungulate's also not, it's more of a descriptor, I think. It's not actually a category of animal. But an ungulate is anything, you are whatever your parents are, is kind of how scientific classification works. So horses are horses because their parents were horses and their parents were horses, and at some point there's a division of species, right? But technically, well, I'm not gonna get into all of it. But anyway, just take my word for it. Do some research if you'd like to, Amaze. But it's kind of funny. It's funny to think about. And my brain doesn't like it either. I feel ya. But it's technically, I'm just saying, scientifically, classification speaking, it's true. And it's crazy. And it's so interesting. Alright. So what do we got going on? We got these little whale hands going on in here. Something I'm going to note that I think is going to be important is the location of the shoulder blade and the fin, like the hands or the fins, in relation to where the head is. So you can see that even in this whale. Like, right, I can see the same situation happening. Like, here's where the shoulder blade would be. Here's where those hands would go. And it's right behind the head. You know, like they're kind of hunched like this. So something to think about when you think about like fin placement, for example. Like if you're drawing your whale, right, here's my terrible whale. You're not going to put the fin way back here and the eye and the mouth way up here, because that's not, like, there's too much space right there. If you want it to be more accurate of a creature, you're going to put it right below the jaw, like right behind the head. And maybe realize, oh, that's like where a shark fin would go. Here's where the fin is further back on a whale. Now, obviously, this is more of a like a rear fin. Like the fin's not always in the same place. Depends on what whale you're drawing, but you know, it's just important things to note, right? So that's what I'm paying attention to. I also want to pay attention to the mouth, because we do, obviously, that's a big feature in a whale, and where the eye tends to sit in relation to the mouth. So here's the eye socket right here. There we go. There we go. I also like how the slope of the whale's head is sort of, I don't know, it's got this like curvature to it. I imagine for all the melon, I guess, as you call it. At least that's what this says right here, is melon, which is great. Love that. Love a melon on an animal. But anyway, that's where the melon sits. I think it has something to do with their sonar, if I remember correctly. It's been a while since I've like looked into whales, but anyway, so I'm paying attention to the beak, the eyes, kind of where the shoulder sits in relation to, you know, everything else. Okay, moving on to the muscles. This is also going to give me a good picture of what's going on underneath all that blubber. So again, now here, because we're not just drawing the bones, you can kind of draw the big groups a little bit differently. So we have our head, you know, we have our chest cavity just like we had before, and then we have the spine, but then now we've got muscles sitting on top of it, right? So I can draw a little bit more of the shapes around the bones. Paying attention to kind of where I'm seeing, like, you know, I'm noticing this kind of goes out a little bit. It's not just a straight line, right? There's muscle there. It's kind of wrapping around that rib cage. Like, think about why it's going down. It's not just arbitrarily making a little bump. There's a reason, right? So again, this is why anatomy, even in a simple shaped critter like a cetacean, is important. Here we go. Now, something I think is kind of interesting is looking at this big muscle attachment right here. Like, that almost looks... I almost want to find another reference picture, because I'm not really understanding how that muscle is working or where it's attaching. I think it might be two muscles. It looks like that's... hold on. That's weird. You always have to double check your references these days because good old AI, right, could be just making stuff up. I'm pretty sure this is a photocopy from a book, but I just want to make sure. So let's look up dolphin muscles. And I'm going to put in, there's a nice search string you can do if you guys aren't familiar with this, if you're trying to find accurate images online. The very beginning of your first part of your search, type in before : 2021. So something I found online recently that's actually pretty helpful for getting around AI stuff, because the AI boom sort of happened around 2022. So if you just type in anything before 2021 and then type in your search string, you'll get more pictures that aren't AI generated. Ugh, just garbage. So much garbage. Perfect. Okay, here's a really nice... See, yeah, that image looks very weird to me. Here is an old Ranger Rick. An old Ranger Rick drawing of what's going on there. That's kind of fun. Do you guys remember Ranger Rick? It was like an offshoot of Zoo Books. I'm actually seeing some weird differences, so I don't want to learn the wrong thing. I'm seeing a lot of different dolphin musculature. Maybe it would be a better one. Dolphin muscular system. Okay, so I'm seeing a couple of different drawings about how this animal is put together, which is a little frustrating. This does look weird to me, so I'm feeling like this one might be, I could be wrong, but I'm seeing more of them that look a little bit more like this one. So I'm gonna go with the one I'm seeing most commonly, and just hope that they're not misleading me. So yeah, we're gonna go with this. This makes a little more sense to me. Gotta check your references sometimes, guys. I'm not sure what's going on there, but I don't trust it. I don't trust it. I'm seeing more that look like this. So yeah, something about, if you notice, like looking closely at this, just the way the muscles, I don't know. It's hard to say because I'm not, like, I've never dissected a dolphin, but I don't, this makes more sense to me. I don't know, does anyone in chat know anything about dolphin anatomy? Maybe I shouldn't study these muscles, guys. I was hoping they would be helpful, but now I'm just confused. But that is something to keep in mind, especially in the modern era, you know? Like, if you are looking for accurate anatomical depictions of creatures to study and learn from, like, double check, because now with all the computer-generated stuff, it's like, especially, I mean, people just make stuff up, you know, and it ends up online and it gets circulated as fact, and just make sure you're not studying the wrong thing. Like, I found out recently, this blew my mind. Oh, there's an ad break, sorry. Well, it'll be in the VOD. For those of you with a sub, you can hear my rant. I found out recently that a lot of Smilodon skulls are most likely just over-exaggerating the length of the tooth as far as it sticks out of the gum. And that they're... Aw, thank you so much. Thank you for that sub. Charlie's Dragon, thank you so much for doing that. I really appreciate you. So kind, so kind. So Someone say sub. So I found out the Smilodon, a lot of the taxidermists, even in museums, a lot of times the person setting the tooth is actually setting it out, like extending it out of the skull a little further than it should be. And you can tell because you can see the gum line on, like, you know, that differentiation between like the darker part and then the lighter part on the bottom. That's actually like indicative of where the gums would have sat. And in some skulls, they have it so far down that the animal would have had to, and I learned this on a blog post about this recently, but to illustrate what I'm trying to say about checking your sources, right? They've got it to where it's like, shoot. Like here's where the little like gum differentiation would be, but they've got it like way out, like here's the skull. So this animal would have had to have gums like this for this to make sense. Like even if its lips came down to here, there's no way its gums were like sticking out that far. You know what I mean? And then some of them, it's funny because like this tooth will be far out, but the other teeth will be way up here still, like where they're supposed to be. So it's like gum, 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 gum. Like it doesn't make any sense. Smilodons, they aren't lies. They still had really big teeth. It's just the tooth should have been further in a lot of museum specimens. Should have been further up. They still had big teeth. But, you know, for the rule of cool or the wow factor, sometimes they'll just, and it could even just be unknowingly, like I'm not saying it's even all malicious. It's just, there's indicators in the bones themselves to show us where the gum line would have been. And it's potentially very inaccurate, or or either that or these people are trying to say, yeah, this is what their mouth looked like, you know, here's the gum line here, totally normal gum line, and then here's the gum line on this tooth. Like, are we saying the animal had a exposed gum for no reason? So it just doesn't, right, there's no need to make them bigger, but what I'm saying is, like, it blew my mind. It kind of frustrated me, because, like, I just went to the museum, like, a weekend ago to go study and draw from some fossils, and it's frustrating to think, oh my gosh, even in the museum where it's supposed to be scientifically accurate, there's possibly some inaccuracies, and I don't know, it's just, I mean, like, we need, especially, I feel like, now this is a Casey ramble, especially in a day of AI, I feel like we do need to make sure we are being extra careful about whether or not our information is accurate, because we're teetering on the brink of complete internet collapse, I think, as far as reliability. I mean, it's already kind of iffy. It's been iffy for a long time, but hot dang. All right, anyway, so we're just gonna maybe skip, actually, the dolphin mussels. I'm a little sad. I'll go ahead and note the ones that I think make sense. I see something is weird about, like, what is this? Something is wrong. It's mostly this. Like, I wasn't sure how they were trying to say the muscles attached to this shoulder blade. That's kind of what tipped me off to this being potentially wrong. This makes so much more sense to me, because those are how you would use those muscles, but I don't know if this is accurate either. So I may just have to skip the study. I will say, like, what are these called? The pectorals. Like, the pectorals I think I can rely on. They're the same in both, you know, and that's an important muscular feature, and you can see that in a lot of animals. But hopefully we can look at some pictures of actual animals and kind of infer what's going on under the skin. Unfortunately, it may have to be an emaciated animal on a whale because there is so much padding, but I just don't want to learn the wrong thing. So in the interest of keeping this relatively accurate, I'm just going to say we're going to note the shoulder blade. There's probably some kind of musculature here to attach, kind of like we have on our shoulder blades, right, to attach our arm to make that movement. So yeah, we're just going to go with the pectorals here, and then of course this musculature along the spine makes sense to me, so I'll go ahead and note that one, and the one on the tail. That all makes sense. So anything other than that, I'm not sure about. So we're just going to move on. Sorry about that, guys. I didn't know I was going to have that conundrum when I started stream today. Don't want to teach and learn the wrong thing about whale anatomy. Oh, let me catch up on chat. Hey, folks who just came in. Let's see who we got. Sloppy Salamander, good morning. How are you? Good to see you. Happy World Whale Day. Yes, it was World Whale Day yesterday, guys. I don't stream on Sundays, so I'm just making up for it now, drawing some whales. I am going to be doing some whale illustration later today, too. So this is just the warm-ups. I do need to practice. I'm probably going to practice either orcas or humpbacks, maybe both. They're pretty iconic. Probably a humpback, actually. I feel like my humpback whale anatomy has not been great. I used to draw orcas all the time when I was a kid, so I feel a little more confident about being able to draw an orca if I need to. So I changed my mind. Gonna be drawing humpbacks today. But you guys feel free to draw whatever you want. I have you can get my references, !ref if you need some. Or you can go to Discord and find mine in the warm-up chat. Excuse me, but I will be drawing humpbacks today, probably. Also, who is Ranger Rick? Ranger Rick, for my American... Gosh, I'm so sorry, guys. My voice is going already. This is no good. It's only Monday. I need my voice to work all week. Ranger Rick. Nobody else read Ranger Rick? My little brother had a subscription to it. So basically there was like Zoo Books, and then there was Ranger Rick. I've heard they've gotten less accurate over time, which is really sad. I feel like they used to be really good. But here in the US, we have this, there's this magazine subscription you can get, and they've basically just been reprinting them since the, 90s, I feel like. But it's called Ranger Rick. Or, excuse me, it's called Zoo Books. And Zoo Books has a... Let me switch over my screen really fast. They have the Zoo Books are for older kids, and then Ranger Rick was for the younger kids, right? So here's Ranger Rick and Zoo Books. And, the Ranger Rick ones are geared toward younger kids. Oh, hadrosaurs! Oh, wow, that's not a great drawing. Oh, look at them. I get so excited about it. I used to love these. When we would get these in the mail as a kid, I would get so excited. This was the magazine subscription that I wanted. I never got all of the Zoo Books. We only had a few. But yeah, Zoo Books were for kids older than 7, and then Ranger Rick was for kids younger than 7. So it was a little more simplified, a little more little kid friendly. It had Ranger Rick was this raccoon character. I don't know, he looks like he's changed. This is what he looked like in the 90s when I was reading Ranger Rick. But he looks like this now, I guess. I don't know, it's fine. It's whatever. But anyway, that's Ranger Rick, so it's maybe it's just a US. I think it might just be a US thing. But let me put my screen back on here so you don't have to look at Ranger Rick anymore. Yeah, that's who Ranger Rick is. Someone needs to make a browser extension that lets us blacklist websites. Oh, I know. Ugh, it's probably coming, Sloppy Salamander, honestly. That's the pro and the con of technology, right? The bad stuff moves quickly, but you know the good stuff is coming, right? Because there's always people who are invested in, there's good actors out there too. That's what I have to keep telling myself so I don't just lose all of my optimism for humanity. There's good actors out there too, guys, who want to make sure that things are reliable, and there's a vested interest in information, and just gotta get through the sludgy part of new tech, and then hopefully it can kind of get reined back in. You can't put it back in the box, but you can control it, right, eventually. So that's what I'm holding on to right now. What's this? Yeah. Oh my gosh, so crazy. Obviously not useful to blacklist every single website, yeah, but the ones that are explicitly, yes, I honestly, at this point, I just kind of think we should get rid of Adobe stock images, because they've ruined stock images. All the people who were stock image artists, there's no work for them anymore. That's a totally obsolete. That has been taken over by AI, and it's been watered down and made terrible by AI. There's just it's bad, cheap marketing is really all it's good for now. It's so sad. Ugh, don't get me started on AI. That'll be like a parade of chickens across the screen because of all my rambles. The second one looks right. Separate muscles from... Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. This one doesn't look right, even though it's out of a book. Ooh, you know what? I do have a book on whales. Hold on. Let me consult an actual printed book. Print books exist, guys. And this is why I love having, now hopefully this is accurate too. Let's do story time. We've had so much story time lately. I don't remember how. We're just gonna go here. You won't be able to see your chat on screen for a second, but whales and dolphins and porpoises, guys. Let's see what they say. Don't fail me. Moss has got some great stuff in here. Maybe I should just use this today. It's eyewitness. I love these eyewitness books. I really, 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 really wish that we had half-price books here in Colorado, because there's so many good. You find so many good things like this at those places. That is where I got this book. back in high school or college. I've had it for a long time. And it was like, you know, $5 probably. Ah, here we go. So here's our, hey class, here we're having reading time today. Here's our little whale skeleton. You can see some of the stuff we talked about with the head shape. All that good stuff. Very fun, very fun. I love this. Such a good drawing, man. I'm not seeing muscles though. That's kind of a shame. Even this book is afraid to talk about whale muscles. I mean, I'm seeing some poaching images, some dissection, unfortunately, but I'm not seeing any musculature, which is a shame. But there's some really nice drawings in here, honestly. I might keep this here and just reference it. Yeah. Yeah, bummer. No muscle photos. It does talk about color variation, what's going on with the muscles and the blubber. It's nice. Anatomy of a cetacean. Let's take it off this. You guys don't need to see my giant face. Yeah. Well, anyway. Go buy some books, guys. Let's get back to the tactile and the tangible. You can't trust the digital these days until they get that sorted. It's kind of a shame, but yeah, I don't see any. No, wait, was that one? Was that one? What was that? Oh no, it's just a narwhal. Narwhal. Although here's a lovely front view of a sperm whale, you guys. Oh my gosh, this is a head-on view of a sperm whale. I wish you could appreciate that. It's a lot. There's a lot going on there. Great head shapes. Yeah, we'll keep this Yeti. Okay, so I'm giving up on muscles. I don't know. Also, good morning, Charlie's Dragon, or good evening, since I know it's late where you are. How are you doing? How are you doing? Because they slip out of the sockets upon death. Yeah, that's true too. That's true too. It's hard to know, but there's like tooth demarcations, at least in more modern bones. I don't know about dinosaur fossils. I'm sure there's someone. If only there was someone on Twitch that you could go to ask about dinosaur fossils. Oh well, there's no helping it. Yeah, exactly. I think Big Al the T-Rex is very exposed teeth. Yeah, I'd heard there were a few like that. My knowledge, the teeth didn't have the mineral makeup required to let them be exposed to the air. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, you have to be covered by lip and some gum. Raga, how are you doing? I love your little. Are those flappy penguins? What are those? They're so cute. Oh, it's a spinning critter. I don't know. I like it. Whale art. So sort of. Fish. Yeah, close. We're doing whales today. It was World Whale Day yesterday. Whales are endangered, and they're wonderful, and we need to talk about them more. So, doing a whale sketch stream. I just gotta find where my doodles are. Of course, I put them on my reference layer. I never learn, guys. I never learn. Right, everything's on one layer now, so there we go. Let's extract those really fast. Also, let me know if the music is okay. I can't really hear it. There we go, sketching. Okay. I had to adjust the volume earlier because it was a little messed up. All right, so back to our warm-up sketching. I think I caught up on chat. Hold on. Fish are relative. Yeah, I mean, well, sure. I guess technically, if you want to get super technical. How much dolphin dissection is performed on fresh, dead? I don't know. That's a great question, honestly. I mean, I would imagine a beached whale specimen, if it's fresh, would be really helpful to science, right? You can hear the Zubix commercial. I don't remember the Zubix commercial. What? There was a commercial? Hold on. You've got a step-by-step from Google support. Oh, nice. I've just been doing... Oh, okay. Nice. I've just been doing in my search strings, typing before 2021. Like, before you do any search, just type the word before, colon, 2021. And then a space, and then you can also put in quotations, or you can also, I don't know if you need quotations, but put minus AI, and those two things, or minus prompt, like the word prompt, and those tend to kind of, if you do those three things, you won't get generative imagery in your search results. I don't know if it works on Pinterest and other image search sites, but like, on Google. That is how you get around it on Google. So useful stuff to know if you're trying to find reference images. Quality stock photos are important, I know. Yeah. Yeah, if you're just doing stuff for fun, that's the thing. Like, so much generative imagery is like it's just a toy, honestly. Like, it's all it really should be. I understand, like, for cheap marketing purposes, I get the need for that, but just, don't steal the images. That's literally the only issue I have with it. I mean, other than it just churning out cheap-looking, crappy images, but ethically, I would have so much less of an issue with it as a technology if it was just ethically sourced. Like, that's really all anybody's asking for. Well, not anybody, but it's all a lot of people are asking for. And then we can just make fun of it, because it is still stupid, but at least you would know it wasn't like literally ripping off people who've put their work on the internet, and then this company has just decided it must be theirs. Since it's online, it's theirs now. It's like, what kind of Russian nonsense is this? Sorry, let me put some context in there. I'm not anti-Russian. That's like a Russian copyright thing that has been an issue for years, for decades, with digital artists. Is copyright law in Russia works differently than most of the world, because in Russia, literally, at least it used to be, I don't know if it's still this way. Maybe they too will change their minds when they start getting affected by the AI thing. But literally, you had no legal recourse in Russia if somebody in Russia stole your art and like put it on a mug and sold it. You get tons of stolen, like there's always been so much art theft from Russian IPs because it's technically legal. There's no protection for you if you put an image on the internet in Russia. For a long time, it was basically like, all right, it's fair game for anyone because you put it on the internet. Like, we're not going to protect that legally. Like, you have no recourse. Which, like, what? Anyway, so all I'm trying to say is that AI tech uses some Russian copyright law nonsense that I don't like, and most digital artists don't like. But at least then, I mean, it was still frustrating. It's been frustrating since the early 2000s, but at least then it was like individuals taking images, and it was a slower process. The AI image process is that, but automated. It's like automated plagiarism. That's what I call it, is automated plagiarism. That's all it is. Instead of you've made it faster, like quicker and easier for somebody to steal something that you've done off of the internet. So anyway, we're not going to turn this into an AI rant stream, though. It's too easy to do. I did that last week. I'm still recovering. I'm going to stop now. So let's look at this humpback whale, though. I'm noticing a lot of little things about the anatomy. I kind of want to look at a humpback whale skeleton, too. But remember, oh, there it is. There it is. I heard it that time. I know. Ramble alert. Casey's rambling. Watch out. But remember what we talked about with the fins coming out like right behind the shoulders are almost, there's like almost no neck, right? There's like a very short neck, and then it's like skull. So whenever you're drawing your cetaceans, just keep in mind the fins are going to come out close to the head. Right? It shouldn't be super far away. I am seeing some little muscles here, and I'm wondering what those are, but because I apparently can't find reliable musculature, I'm not going to worry about it too much. We're just going to have to infer from these depictions based on what we're seeing and what we loosely understand. So I can see these little muscle lines here. I mean, you got a big animal here trying to move through the water. You're going to have some big muscles in the tail to propel that creature forward, right? So don't overlook that. And something to note that I always, you can always tell when somebody's actually looked at an actual animal or if they're just drawing from their brains, because a lot of times people will draw whale tails like this, like a shark. So if you didn't know this, sharks and fish, their spines move this way, so their tails go side to side. This is part of what actually tells us that this is a mammal, or not even just a mammal. It moves the way ungulates move too. Like, so there's like lizard hipped, right? And then there's is that the difference between lizard hipped and bird hipped? Because lizards are the same way. They move side to side, am I right? Like a snake. But then you have like other animals that have their hips go up and down, right? So like when you think of like the way a dog or a cat runs or the way we run. And it's the same thing. Their hips, if you can see these little tiny hips, their hips that used to be attached that are no longer useful. have made it to where they work with the spine to go up and down. So whales and dolphins, they push through the water this way. They propel themselves this way. So that's why their fins have to be flat, right? They're not like vertical, they're horizontal. So something to keep in mind if you've never paid attention to how you draw your whale versus your fish. And that's why whales are not fish, FYI. That's one way that we know. We can just tell, hey, that's not a fish. You see a silhouette in the ocean, you can tell if it's a shark or a whale. Now, I guess if the whale is swimming sideways, maybe you wouldn't be able to tell. But I think they did a play on that in Finding Nemo, didn't they? It's been a long time since I've seen that movie. All right, let's see. Here's a great assortment of whale bones. Well, I guess actually there's only one whale. Never mind. I was just looking at that bow. Is that a bowhead whale? Right whale. It's a right whale. Ah, here we go. Let's see, humpback whale, skeleton. Ooh, here's a nice one. Actually, no, it's not. It's so hard to find good whale skeleton images. Alright, we're gonna resort to images. Just gonna go ahead and start drawing some humpback whales now. So let's see. I have a whole folder in my citation folder for humpback whales. Just gonna link that in chat if anyone wants to draw humpback whales with me. You can draw something else if you'd like to, but that's yeah. And I actually should have link permission turned off, so if anyone does have links they want to share, totally fine. Wait, what did I do? Amaze is yelling at me. Hold on, I gotta scroll down. Some animals are not meant to be appreciated from the front. Yeah, so you're talking about that sperm whale? Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Pretty much what I expected, yeah. I just mean that I'm an optimistic, we're through the worst of it. Yeah, no, I hope so. I hope so too. No, you're fine, Sloppy Salamander. It's easy to go off on AI. Just hanging there for a few years. Yeah, exactly. Beach whales are at least sometimes taken in for dissection, but sometimes they explode. I've heard about that because of all the gas. Yeah, that's cool. Mom's really distinct memory of you driving to school and being sat at a red light behind a huge flatbed truck with a tarp and a whale's tail. That's amazing. Where are you at? Are you on the coast? I have always lived so far. I've always lived so far from the ocean that like anything ocean related is like alien to me. I've never lived close to big bodies of water. That is so cool. Oh, you posted the commercial in Discord. Sweet. I will watch that later. Russian laws are closer to Chinese. It's not like legal, but no one will do anything. Good to know, Raga. Good to know. Yeah, and it is similar in China. We have similar issues in China too. Yeah, I don't know. At least back in the early 2000s, though, I remember reading, and again, it was the internet, so it could have been wrong, but I remember reading something about how Russia, there was some legislation that was written that made it so it sounded like technically what they were saying was, if you put it online, it's your problem. Like it basically victim blaming, right? Like if you use the internet at all, you should have known better, or something like that. Like basically, it's fine for people to use this. And it was, maybe that's been changed. And maybe now it's just more of, like you said, a hands-off, like, well, yeah, we don't like it, but we're not going to help you out. Maybe it's more like that. But either way, AI has that same mentality, and I don't like it. We've been visited by aliens, and we just went about our day. Wait, what? Oh no, is Clint's Reptiles becoming clickbaity in AI? Oh, I like Clint's Reptiles. I wonder if he knows. Like, I'm sure somebody like that pays someone to make their videos. I wonder if he knows. And that's the other thing, too. Like, it's hard. If you don't know what you're looking for, it's hard to tell an AI image from a real one. Ugh, so frustrating. They said there are light phenomena that have been explained once, but have afterwards in his advertising and Thylacines of Woody Man was brought back next few years, which no. You know, yeah, I feel like they have gotten a little more clickbaity. I have been a big fan of his for a while, but that is sad. It makes me sad. Yeah. He's called out and learned from it, but if that's his style of content, probably not. Yeah, who knows? Side to side equals reptile. Not as effective as, yeah, exactly. Up and down equals mammal. Yeah. Yeah, science. There we go. Zubik's commercial is one of my strongest jobs. No way. I bet I remember it. Okay, do we need to watch this together? Probably not, because I'll get copyright dinged. Oh, that's the other thing, guys. Sorry, I'm just doing update stream, apparently, and not actually drawing. I'll update you while I pull up this picture of a humpback whale. Here's a good one. I'm gonna use this guy. He's pretty. So I'm gonna start posting my warm-up streams on YouTube. So if anybody wants to catch up on those, some of my older ones, I can't remember which ones. I think some of them do have some music that shows up because the mic picked up my music from my computer. So I think there might be a few that have some copyright dings in them, but the more recent ones so far have been doing pretty good, and they haven't had those. So I'm going to try and upload some of the older ones to YouTube. They may get taken down. They may get taken down. But I'm going to start posting the warm-up streams at least on YouTube. It does take like 4 hours to post them from my computer, so I probably won't do it very often, but I'm so sorry. I hope I'm not getting sick. Ugh. I really need my voice to not be like this. That would be swell. But yeah, so I'll be posting those. I'll be posting those on YouTube soon. In fact, I think there's one that already went up. I did do a practice one. I think I posted it. I think I scheduled it to go up yesterday. I don't know if I have a YouTube. Do I have YouTube on my socials? I can't remember. It's down below if anyone needs those. Let's see. Is YouTube on here? Oh, it is. There you go. So if anybody wants to go check those out. There's also, I haven't really advertised it yet, but I did do a little test speed paint video on Saturday and post it on YouTube. So if anyone wants to go watch that, you can watch me draw a dragon, but in 5 minutes instead of like 2 hours or whatever amount of time it took me. All right, so whale mouths are fun, right? Because we know that the eye is down here by the jaw, especially on these baleen whales, right? It's like the eye is down here. So even though I'm having a hard time kind of making this picture out, I can tell, because I know that about the anatomy, I can tell that this line goes up here, right? So that's what I'm gonna draw. Ooh. Let's see. Oh, hey, Vale. How goes the stream? How goes your morning? Thanks for popping in. Stream's going good. We had a little bit of a generative image rant for a second there, but we got out of it okay. We survived. We crawled out of that pit. And here we are. It all started because I was trying to draw the muscles on this dolphin from what I thought was a reliable source. It looks like a literal photo from a book, but so I don't think it's AI generated. I think it's just maybe misinformed, because like all the other references I was finding looked more like this. And so I just I got a little stuck here on the musculature, which is what started the, hey, make sure you check your references, guys. We live in the world of generative information. And so here we are now. But I'm studying some humpback whales, because it was World Whale Day yesterday, for those who don't know. Whales are really amazing, really, really amazing, and I hope that we can do more to help them and to stop polluting their home. We should probably just stop using plastic. I think that would probably be the fastest solution. Although, have you guys seen those, I think they're all prototypes right now, but there's some people out there engineering, like, basically ocean hoovers. They're like these, They sit on, it's at least for floating garbage. They can like skim the ocean for garbage and like gather it up. Have you guys seen those? Do you know what I'm talking about? It's a swoopy whale. It is good shapes. Yeah, there's some really nice shapes. I mean, remember, for those of you who are sketching, you know, find your big shapes just like we've been doing. I kind of didn't do a great job of doing that here. Here, there's my big shape. And then find your lines of motion, right? I might redraw this one less as a drawing and more as a painting here in a second, because I think sometimes, like if you work digitally, sometimes it's easier to do lines of motion digitally, I feel like, with the painting, the things you can get away with in a painting versus when you're just sketching. But like, look at I love even his fins or her fins are like following this S-curve, like water fluidity thing, right? So kind of look at your overall shapes. Don't get stuck on like, okay, I gotta draw this, and like I'm bad about this too, and like here's this little bump and here's this little bump. Like, don't think of it that way. Think of go big to small, right? So here's my big, here's my small, and now it's gonna like, oh, I can see where I'm going with that, and I can adjust as needed, right? Like, I didn't get that super accurate, but the idea is right, you know? Anyway, how's your morning going, Vale? How are you doing? I'm going to do a few fin studies as well. Looks like there's a little fish swimming along, a little fish friend under this whale right there. And I love these little striations on these guys. It's a great way also to kind of get a feel for the form of the animal. Like you can really see I hate to say musculature because I'm not really even sure if that's what that is, but like the jaw shape. Look how far back it goes. Like they can really take in some water. And that's what these lines are for, right? I'm sure most of you know that, but this is so that they can expand. Like these are just like, they're almost like folds in a skirt, right? And when they take in a bunch of water, they can expand. Huge. I'll pull up a picture. I'm sure you guys have seen this, but when they're not expanded, they are just present as these little lines. It's a really cool feature. Really cool feature. Let's find a humpback whale who's actually taken in some water here. The song is too quiet, I can't hear it. So here's another beautiful picture of a humpback. No, they can't find the image. It's sad. Ooh, look at this. So here's one like in the process of opening its mouth, right? And you can see the water filling in all the way down to the stomach, it looks like. And taking in that water. That's a great image. I love that. Gotta save that for sure. Why are all these songs so slow? I thought I took out all the sad slow songs. I was trying to find you guys a good photo of a humpback whale with its mouth all the way open, but this is such a good image. Okay, I had to make sure I had that one at least. Hey, found another picture of a of a sperm whale from the front, guys. It's a look. That's all I can really say about that. Alright. Anyway, you guys know what whales look like. You can go find your own pictures, I'm sure. I don't want to spend my whole stream looking around for photos. I am going to draw this one, though, because I do really love that. That's a great image. Let's, really quickly, though, I want to play and paint this guy. See what I was talking about earlier about the, just how much easier it is, I guess, to kind of see form sometimes in painting instead of drawing. Just gonna do a little color selection here. And I'm not super familiar with paint tool size painting, but we're just gonna go for it. It can be more fun using different brush types, but let's just use a good guy here. So what we talked about earlier was finding those curves, right? So we've got our big shape here for the face, the barrel, the tail, right? This is part of why I struggle with sometimes working up an image beyond the painting stage, because I'm always so fond of it when it's at this stage. Like, this is probably my favorite stage of an image. It's just the sketchy, like, woo, we're just doing whatever sort of a stage. I have a hard time. I love this fin S shape too, is great. But yeah, if you're somebody who's wanting to do more with painting, especially like if you do a lot of drawing but you don't actually venture into the realm of painting too often, give it a try. You might surprise yourself by how loose and free it feels. The lack of constraint can be really fun to play with, in my opinion. I feel alone. I feel Alright, so I can paint in the shadows really fast here, so that's what I'm doing, is just finding that gray tone. I'm doing some selection here on my own image just because I'm lazy. Yeah, but you can see how really quickly you can learn different things from painting than drawing. But you're still learning the form, right? You're still learning the placement of things. You can still check your anatomy, but you can also study things like color and value and do it really quickly. Like this is just as valid of a sketch as this, in my opinion. Like, they both take about the same amount of time. If you haven't done painting sketches before, please give them a try. I think whales are a great topic to try it on because they are so simple. Generally speaking, like a much more simple creature shape, and you can learn a lot. So give it a try if you haven't. That's all I'll say. I'll stop repeating myself now. I just want to encourage everyone to experiment and learn. That's what this whole series is about. It's just learning new stuff, you know? Trying something you haven't tried before. And if it fails, no one else is there to see it except for you. So there's no risk there. You don't have to share it in the Discord, although I'd love to see it if you wanted to share it in the Discord. I missed that it was World Whale Day. That explains what, yeah, that new horror book Whale Fall. I've not heard of that. What weird mouths and eye placement. Yeah. And now you can't unsee it, right? But like studying things like that about the anatomy and like how close the shoulders are to the head. Yeah, it'll help you next time you go to draw the creature. You can't forget that thing. It's so distinctive. And that's why it's so fun to work from reference, because it makes your drawing better. It makes your observation better. I would argue that it could make your writing better too, like just observing something closely, just for the sake of study, no other reason, It's gonna make you notice things that you haven't noticed before, and then you can share that with others, and then maybe they'll notice something, like Amay said he's noticed certain landmarks for each section. Yeah, exactly. Like, there's just things you start to point out and you can discuss with others, and everyone can learn, and it's so exciting. Anyway, that's all. Learning is fun, guys. Maybe I should write for Ranger Rick. Alright, So yeah, again, I'm not getting too detailed with this one. I do want to note from just for my own self, like that's where the mouth is. So I've exaggerated that a lot bit in the sketch, right? But it's helpful to know, you know. And like here's that jawline. There's some of those striations we were talking about. Okay. I love the little barnacle things. Are they actually barnacles? I need to look up what all these bumps are on the humpback whale. Does anyone know? Just off the top of their head what the little bumps are? I think they're fun. Okay. So my colors aren't super accurate, and that's okay. Man, another thing we should study sometime is just like how to draw water. I definitely don't study enough environment stuff like this. I do like these bubbles that are just kind of sitting on the surface right there. It's kind of fun. Play a song for me. Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, play a song for me. There we go. Something like water. Anyway, let's move on. Hey, Lagumcore! You made it home early! You're out of the dark and the scariness. We're doing some whale studies today. Happy belated whale day, everybody, by the way. Hold on. I think I missed some chat here. I've managed a hefty snorkel. Excellent, excellent. I'm excited to see it. Find details by NOAA 1 that a whale washed up in 2004 and it was studied by NOAA and the bones were donated to... Oh, that's cool. That's very cool. Whale falls are incredible. I've not heard about a horror book with that name. What's a whale fall? Is that when they jump? No, that's breaching. Is a whale fall when they beach themselves? What's a whale fall? I'm so curious now. I'm just picturing a waterfall of whales. The head, the body, and the tail. Yeah. Love it. It's a one-person channel. The guy running it is 22. He started the channel when he was 11 years old with a little sub-5... Wait, are you talking about Clint's Reptiles? I didn't know that. The whale fall video. Okay, hold on. Hidden mortal. Oh, this is when they sink to the bottom, right? It's like they create whole ecosystems because they're sitting on the floor of the ocean and creating like so much of a huge food source. Yeah, I do know what this is. Okay. They're tubercles, large hair follicles that cover the humpback's rostrum. Huh. Do you guys know that whales have whiskers? I think I shared this in chat the other day. Humpback whales, you can see them. Whale whiskers. Sorry for the clacking. I'm using my old keyboard because I got really frustrated by that wireless one. I do know that there's little hairs that come out of them. I didn't realize that they were the actual follicle. They're massive. That's so interesting. Yeah, here's the image of the whisker. Let me find a better one. That's not very good. Yeah. Come on. It's not very clear, and I don't know why. I feel like I've looked at this image before and it was clear. There we go. Look at the little whiskers! So there's little, like some of them, I guess, yeah, there's little hair follicles coming out of some of them, but some of them don't. Some of them just are like on the flesh, you know? That's so cute though, look at them! Look at them, it's like a little walrus nose. I love it. Little remnants of hair from the time when they were not quite so ocean-going, perhaps. No, not Clint, natural old facts. Okay. Many researchers believe humpbacks use them to see... Oh, to sense vibrations, kind of like a cat whisker. That's cool. That makes sense why they haven't gone away yet. Gonna make dinner, be a good citizen, and prep lunch. A dead whale. Yeah, that's super cool. Super cool. A waterfall of whales sounds terrifying. I was like, horror movie. Whale fall. a waterfall of whales. It's like Sharknado, but more passively scary. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, who doesn't love learning new things, right? Yeah, they do. I know. Aren't they cute? That blew my mind. They have like some whales do. I think baby whales have a little bit more hair when they're first born, and then it like falls off as they age. I could be wrong. I will never be normal about whales having little cat-like whiskers. I know, right? It's so cute. Like, all right, everyone's drawings of whales from now on, they have to be like this. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, boop, boop. Just like a little kitty. What if there was a whale that had like a really long set of whiskers, you know? Hold on. I know a lot of like the humpbacks, they tend to have this kind of a body shape, right? But like, what if it's like, you know, and he's so happy about it because he's got that funny whale face that we talked about. I'm gonna exaggerate it slightly. But see, this is what I'm talking about, actually. Like, I know that this is technically not anatomically accurate, right? Like, it should be more, just based on the studies, it should be more like this. But because I know what I'm drawing now, because we've studied it, I can make exaggerations and it still looks lifelike. And this is why it's so much better to start with realism and then abstract into, like, the more cartoonish, you know, caricatures almost of things. Because once you know what is there, you can exaggerate it appropriately. Right? It's kind of like if I was trying to study whales, but I only drew whales that looked like this, then all of my I would have to unlearn those things to actually learn what a real whale looks like. Like, I experienced this when I was a kid because I drew a lot of anime, you know, like a lot of kids did. I drew a ton of anime when I was in middle school and learned bad proportions and bad facial feature placement. I still struggle with that, to be honest. Like, eventually we're gonna be doing people on these streams, and you guys are gonna be horrified by how bad I am at people. I'm real bad. There's a reason you never see me draw people. So we're working up to it. People are the scary one. Vehicles are coming this week, though. Tomorrow we're starting some vehicles. Not looking forward to that. Look at his eye. It's like bugged. Maybe it's a bubble. I don't know. It looks funny. Anyway, we're doing, so tomorrow is International Pets Day, so feel free to bring a photo of your pet and draw your pet. I'm going to be drawing pets in cars to make me want to draw cars on Wednesday. I'm warming up to cars this week. But, yeah. Pets and Pontiacs, maybe that's what I should have called it. What's another P word for cars? Pets and Porsches. I don't know. It's like when I found out horses can have very fancy mustaches. They can, and they have beards too. They can have a lot of neck beards going on in horses. Have you seen newborn? Oh my gosh, newborn horse hooves are terrifying. Yes, yes, they are terrifying. A lot of ungulates have soft hooves like that. Like hard-toed ungulates, they have soft hooves inside when they're still in the womb, and then once they're born, that kind of gets they harden up pretty fast in oxygen. On a winter's day. But look at this guy's mouth, y'all. There's a lot going on here. So I know that his skull is right here, right? This is all loose skin. So I'm drawing the parts that I know anatomically first. I also like his scoopy hands. There's a little bit of a camera angle thing happening here, I think. Then we can draw the big jaw opening up. It's looking a little bulbous back there in the back. Such a winter's day. Do, do, do. I also like how you can see their little the little bumps on their fins are really fun too. So let's see what time we're at. 11 o'clock. I'm gonna study those. Maybe do some fin studies really fast. I want to get that fin shape down really well. Like I said earlier, I'm gonna be drawing some more whales later today. Probably a little more like illustration stuff, but we will be doing whales again for stream this afternoon. He's so jolly. He's so jolly. Look how jolly. Pegua? I don't even know how to say that word. Peguat? Peguat? Pegue? Peguo? I don't know how to pronounce. I don't know anything about cars. I have a book on cars. That's about as much as I know about cars, is that I have a book. I don't know how to say it. The fairy hooves on foals. Is that what you call them? Is fairy hooves is like the nicest way I have ever heard anyone describe what that looks like. I'm not going to show them on stream because they look horrifying. Pie shoot? Pie shoot? What? It's pronounced pay show. What? I don't know anything about cars. I've never heard of this car brand. Why is it spelled that way? Is this some what language is that in? Pay show? It's French? So wait, I didn't know the G made a sh sound. What? I can never speak French, clearly. Well, I don't know anything. I'm just displaying my ignorance of how to speak anything but English right now. So sorry for anyone who might be French and is horribly offended right now that I didn't know how to say that correctly. English is weird. It messes up other languages pretty often. Now I have to look up this car. I've never heard of this vehicle. How do you even spell that? P-E-U-G-O-T. What kind of an automobile do you make? Yeah, I've never heard of this. I do like their logo. I love a good lion. Why is my voice like this, you guys? It's so frustrating. Oh, they're not cars you see in the US. Okay, that makes me feel better. I'm like, how? I didn't know that. Fancy car brand, yeah. Clearly I pay attention to fancy cars. I'm one of those girls who's real impressed by fancy cars. I just think so highly of you if you spend that much money on a vehicle. Man, boy howdy, do I pay attention to fancy cars. Could I be... Did the sarcasm come through? Let me know. Give me some feedback. Yeah, I don't care at all about any of that. When I see cars like... No offense if anyone's really into fancy cars. I'm not trying to be disparaging. I'm just not one of those people who's... You're giving... For me, you give me a very negative view of your financial decision-making. Let's just say it that way. I just... yeah, anyway. It's kind of funny... If I me on a dating app, guy posing with fancy car. No. Oh no. Definitely not. That's like an instant no. Instant no. You might as well just say, I love throwing my money in holes and then lighting them on fire. I mean, if you're gonna show off a money pit, at least show off a horse. That's kind of my perspective. It's like, at least horses are fun and you can pet them. Anyway, you could taste sarcasm. Good. That's what I was going for. Edible sarcasm. It's always my goal. Wait, hold on. Let me catch up. It's French. You omit like half the letters and then just guess. That's kind of what, because aren't there other? Because I feel like there's other French words that have a G that it's like you just drop the letters after the G, but it still makes a y sound or something. But I've never heard of a G making a sh sound in French. Like, that's totally foreign to me. No pun intended. Might be more common in Europe. Yeah, I think it must be a European vehicle because I've not seen them before. We have Porsches here. Like a Porsche, isn't that like an Italian car? Danny talked you down from wanting a Jeep, so you're back on your Subaru pining. That's funny. It's online with like Volvo or other common family cars. Really? Oh, well, I looked it up right now, and the cars that showed up were fancy. I have no idea. I've just never heard of the brand. Yeah, Jeeps. I feel like Jeeps They can be really useful if you use them for off-roading. Like, there's a lot of people in Colorado that have Jeeps. But to be fair, a lot of people who have Jeeps, they're so expensive that they don't actually take them off-roading. They just drive them around and burn fuel for no reason. I think I offended a Jeep owner the other day on accident, and I felt really bad. It was like my first time meeting her. And you gotta watch what you say about Jeeps. The Jeep conversation is apparently almost as volatile as the AI conversation. Didn't know. Learned that lesson. Yeah, my inner 9-year-old boy still appreciates cool cargo fast. I just have never, yeah. I have friends that are into those things. I guess I get it. I can appreciate it from a design standpoint. I'm not saying like design-wise, I think a car can look cool. That's what I have to tell myself to gear myself up to draw cars. I think we're actually drawing race cars next week. So next week is like all vehicles, guys. So prepare yourselves. But just as far as owning one, it just feels like you're just buying mechanical issues, and you're just gonna spend a lot of money on something that you're afraid to drive. It's gonna eat gasoline. I don't know. I can't, like, the fiscally responsible side of me just can't, there's no justification that will ever make me be like, yeah, that's really great. I'm so glad you own that. Like, I'm just saying, I just think it's funny. A lot of guys act like they are, it's like a power symbol for them, and all I see is an idiocy symbol. It's no offense if you have a fast, fancy car. I just see, wow, you could have spent that money on so many better investments that would actually make you money in the long run, instead of just sitting in your garage and costing you money all the time. But anyway, I better stop before I get myself in trouble. Someone's gonna get real offended, and then we're gonna have some kind of a chat in chat. Let's see. That makes the reason I know about car from manga way funnier. Wait, what? Hold on. Oh, so was it like a fancy car in a manga? I have no idea. The US have its own, yeah, for sure. The US has a different standard. Let me catch up. Sorry, I'm really behind. Not like Mercedes fancy, but okay. Porsche. Yeah, Porsche is the one that I know. You know, everybody has, for some people, riding in a fast car is worth the investment, and that's great. Good for you. I like roller coasters. I get it. I like going fast. I guess it's just the money. It's really just the expense part that I can't justify. I don't even drive, so my car knowledge is very limited. That is one nice thing about a lot of Europe, is that you don't need a car necessarily. The US is too big. It'd be like everything's just so spread out. I thought about, cars are so expensive. My insurance just went up again. It went up. It has increased 4 times in the past 2 years. I used to pay, so I pay biannually. I might have to switch to a monthly payment because it's becoming so expensive. It's like a huge hit every time I have to pay. When I first started paying car insurance, I think I was paying $400 every 6 months. So $800 a year. And I was like, okay, $400 I can handle. And then it went up to $450. And then it went up to like $560. And now it's gone from like it's gone from like $450 to now $750 in 2 years. It's gotten so expensive in Colorado to drive a car. And I'm like, I thought about it. I was like, well, shoot, should I just start like getting a rail pass and I don't drive that much, but I don't want to bike up. I can't, there's not like a fast way to get from my house to the studio. I don't know. Between that and like I have to buy new tires this year, and just like the gas money and the constant oil changes and like upgrade, like it's expensive to own a car, But I still am driving enough to, I don't think I'm going to get rid of my car, but it would be nice to live somewhere like Europe where it's like, it's just easy to get around on public transit because everything's close to each other and everything's built around public transit, and it's not, I don't know. Ugh. Anyway. Cars are expensive. All cars are expensive. Not just the fancy ones. Alright, let's find one more humpback whale, and then I'm going to call it here in a bit. Boy, this conversation went a lot of places I didn't expect today. Let's do a classic breaching humpback whale. Let's see. For those who don't know, a breach is when a whale, you probably do know this, but it's when a whale jumps out of the water. This is a great photo. It's like a breaching pose, but I like that photo though. I'm gonna sketch that really fast. Sketch it down here. I love that. Beautiful, beautiful creatures, these. People who actually take Jeep sovereignty and people with pre-95 Jeeps. Yes, that's true. That's true. I have posted my whale and my orca. Nice, nice. Most of the illogical spelling of English words is due to French. Oh, really? Oh, that makes sense. Vague, you don't pronounce the U. That's true. You're right. It's true. English is such a weird amalgamation of all these other Romance languages. It's so funny. You see Jeeps a lot here. I do see some people off-roading in Jeeps that are older than 95 or newer than 95, but it's not as often. And I'm sure places outside of Colorado it's even less common. But here in Colorado, I mean, if you get up on the off-roading trails, you see a lot of Jeeps. Like there are a lot of people, and some of them are newer. You know, some people do modified trucks to go off-roading. I've had a friend that did that. You see a lot of like Land Rovers, things with winches, you know, that kind of stuff. Some ATV for sure. Some of these trails here, though, you like almost need a Jeep to get up it. Like a Jeep might be one of the few things that can actually get up those things. Look at your fins, you beautiful creature. How are you like this? Ooh, speaking of whales, can we talk about the Rizzo's whale? Or Risso? I'm not sure how to say it. I found out about this whale. So if you guys are into nature and just questions about animals and science and that kind of thing, you should definitely be following Anatomica Science on Instagram. She just blogs like about random, just like basically she'll just have like random question about nature and post it on there and then just dig into her thinking behind it. I think she does a lot of like taxidermy and like scientific specimen prep. And so she's always looking at like animal anatomy and working with vets and like preserving interesting creatures and fluids and that kind of stuff. I'll post a link here in a second. But she was talking about this type of whale that starts off as a gray, like it's a gray color as a baby, and throughout its whole life, it basically it starts to scar up and turn white. I think it's called a Risso's whale. Or a Risso's dolphin. Risso's dolphin, that's what it is. So each individual looks super, super, super different. And like their scars, they get scarred from like, you know, from boats and things and from shark attacks, but also from each other. And so they end up with these really, really beautiful patterns as they get older. So like here's one right here. I'll just share screen. I definitely want to paint one of these now because I'd never heard of them before. But they're really cool. So check this whale out. It's like when they start out as babies, they're totally gray. Here's like a drawing of a younger one, right? I don't know what this is, ignore that. But like over time, let me find a picture. So they start to turn white, and it usually happens from the head up because that's where they're, you know, constantly like attacking each other or, you know, getting predators or whatever. But like so here's how they start off, the Risso's dolphin, and then over time they just kind of like turn all white, like by the time that they're older. Actually, that one looked like it was maybe a mutation. But anyway, by the time, like you can tell when you have like, here's a really old individual because it's almost totally white, which is so cool. I don't know. It's a really cool like character feature, right? Like if you're thinking about creature design or character design or anything like that for stories, like what a cool feature. Like you can see the different like these scars, they all turn white and they just kind of like have them forever. Like they never repigment back to the original gray. So interesting. And I mean, look at that. Look at this beautiful, beautiful animal. Okay, oh, you guys can't even see it. It's like off screen. Hold on. My monitor's too big. Look at that. Look at that pretty creature. Okay, I'm all done now. Let's go back to drawing. Oops. Where'd my drawing go? There we go. Anyway, thank you for coming to my TED Talk on dolphins, guys. Got distracted last week, but race car is one of the main reference points for designing animals of James Cameron's Oh, nice, yeah. I believe that for sure. You could say the same about house cats, Casey. Wait, which part? That house cats are money pits? You can't ride a house cat, though. You can ride a horse. Always heard that horse girls and car boys are the same. That's, I've never heard that, but I totally buy it. It's the same kind of a mentality for sure. Yeah, I clearly have a horse bias. I mean, of the two, there's a clearly more fun and maybe even more cost-effective option. Just saying. But I guess a car would be more useful on the road. It's fun when things go room room. It is kind of fun. I think the financial part, the fiscal responsibility part of my brain just can't overlook the immense cost of a fancy car and the pure ridiculousness of buying something to drive that you never drive. But maybe that's just people I've known in the past. Maybe not everybody's like that. I don't know. Mom's just went up to like 900 every 6 months. Ugh. And they want another 300 to put you on the plan. It's so expensive. Yeah, I've heard it's happening everywhere. It's not just Colorado, but it's something to do with like medical costs going up. So like medical insurance basically is what all the car insurance is now having to cover. Which is why we just need... anyway, don't get me started on medical stuff either. Car insurance used to be so affordable. Like I bundle mine with my apartment. It used to be so much cheaper. And I feel like if we could just do that with medical insurance too, instead of making it like tied to your employment, it would just be so much cheaper because then the stupid companies would be competing for my dollar, not a multi-billion-dollar person's dollar. You're right, I'm rambling. Hey, you guys look. You guys are bringing up great topics in chat. I'm feeling called out. I don't like my alert anymore. I want to keep rambling. Or was that about the cars? I don't know, there's been a lot of rambles today. That must be fun breaching. It would be fun. It would be fun to breach. Let's see. Hump, back, whale, breach. Here's a good one. Ooh, I like this. No, hold on. Which one has the most fun flippers? There's so many good ones. I feel like this is a classic breach pose right here. Just like, arms out. Does anyone else think that these whale fins look like chainsaws a little bit? So are we saying these bumps on the fins here are also hair follicles? Does that mean there's little hairs poking out of each one of these? I'm not gonna lie, I used to think they were like the little bones for the hand, kind of like a bat, you know? But something tells me that's not true. I don't think that's true. Ballerina whale. They're so dynamic, yeah. Most European languages contain a bunch of words from neighboring countries. English isn't unique. No, it's not unique at all in that matter. It's just interesting that it's such a strange mixture. People do it. I just meant the people that do it opposed to willing to... Oh, yeah. No, I think you're right. I know a lot more people who have expensive Jeeps that don't off-road than I do people who have expensive Jeeps that do off-road. No, I know what you're saying. Who are in Jeep Club, and they went on some kind of club event to see the elk and the Smokies. And everyone was in their Jeeps. Jeeps are definitely a club. Let's see. I don't have to scrap my entire car when it gets a flat tire. You don't. You don't. That's true. That's true. I see. Amaze was offended by my opinion on cars. That's why he gave me the chicken signal. I should be able to penalize that. Alright. Let's Copy you. I'm gonna do this one, and then I think we're gonna call it, actually, because I would like to get a few more things done today before I get back on here and draw some more whales. But I think this will be good practice for later, hopefully. 'Tis the goal. See, I knew I'd get myself in trouble eventually. Where are my sketches? Oh my gosh, you guys are terrible at this. One of these days, I will learn. Classic breach pose. I probably should have done a few more full body, but look how, what am I trying to say? Prominent the mouth line is, though. Like, there's his mouth. Isn't that crazy? It's so stark. And there's the eye. Look at that. So cool. I remember watching educational shows on whales. Without fail, everyone's gonna, oh, for sure. This is like one of the most dramatic things that whales do, for sure. I mean, I think sharks do this too. I forget when Shark Week is. I have it on my calendar, but we'll be doing sharks during Shark Week, and I'm sure we'll be drawing a breaching great white. Although they do it for hunting, I believe. Alrighty. It's kind of funny drawing these eyes, because you can almost, at least it's hard to tell, but I think this is the top of his head right here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what I'm drawing right now. I just love these like really intense wrinkles around the face. And it's interesting because there's like, I don't know if you guys have noticed this looking at humpbacks, but there's like some really intense ones right here, and then there's actually not very many on the jaw part, but then on the throat part there's more. So there is sort of an anatomy to these wrinkles too. Thank goodness you mean actual sharks this time. Wait, what did I mean before? Sometimes in the summer. Wait, what? Actual sharks? What do you mean? I'm confused. I don't know what you mean, Amaze. Did I talk about not sharks and call them sharks? What are you saying? Please eliminate my confusion here. I would love to know what you mean. As compared to emotional sharks, I know that's what I'm like, game sharks? Pool sharks? Like, what other sharks did I talk about? Did you have a bad encounter with a shark recently, Amaze? Did someone shark you? I've had a lot of lady friends, and with them, Shark Week is a euphemism for something else entirely. Wait, really? What? I'm a lady. Am I not a lady enough? What does that mean, ladies? Ladies, illuminate, please. I've literally never heard of this term. You know who the real emotional sharks are these days? Car insurance bro. Yes! Yes, they totally are, Vale. They totally are. Well, you've already started, Amaze. Now I'm just curious. Now everyone's gonna Google what you mean. I have no idea what this is. Clearly something inappropriate. So I guess I'll drop it. Shark Week has been... Oh. I've literally never heard that term in my entire life. And I've been a lady for quite some time, let me tell you. No one has ever said that in my presence. I don't know about lady. I've been female. I don't know about lady. I'm not very ladylike. But, you know. I got... Well, anyway. I'm not going to talk about the bits. But... I've never heard that. I've heard Aunt Flo. I've heard on the rag. I've literally never heard it called that. I feel like, honestly, that makes it sound way cooler than it is. I'm just going to say that. But anyway, we can drop that. Hilarious, though. I thought you were going to say something way worse, to be honest. I was like, oh my gosh, what are... What does that mean? Like I was literally picturing like when you first said that and you're like, "Oh, I just have lady friends to talk about that." I mean something different. My first thought was like, are they like are they like prowling the bars like sharks, like looking for men to gobble up? Like what? I was trying to make it make sense and be shark-like. That was where my brain went. So it's definitely honestly, I feel like what you had to say was a lot better than what I had to say. Anyway, clearly, I guess I'm just out of the lady loop. I don't know. Maybe I need more female friends. Guys are less dramatic. I tend to get along with them a little better. Oh, that's not true. I do know some guys who are incredibly dramatic. I think my issue is a lot of female friends. I don't know if everyone's like this. I don't want to get into like gender generalities, but I do know a lot of females, just happen to know a lot of females that talk with like their eyebrows or like talk without saying words. And like I'm somehow supposed to just intuit what they mean. Like there's a lot of implication. Maybe I'm just dense. I'm sure there's guys that do this too. But I tend to just like back away slowly from those conversations because I feel like I'll just like smile and nod, but I have no idea what I'm smiling and nodding about. And I'm like, am I agreeing to something right now? Like what are we saying we're doing? What's happening right now? Can we just talk about dinosaurs? Don't you guys just want to talk about dinosaurs all day? No? Okay. Where's Twitch? Twitch will help me talk about dinosaurs. Alright, I think I'm done with this. Before I get myself in more trouble, I've offended all the car people today. I've offended all the, I've probably offended some horse girls today. Who else can I add to the list? Offended men and women everywhere. Alright, he looks so happy, you guys. I can't look at this. I just want to make every whale look like it has this really, I just want to put a little, even though I know they don't have like a cheek bump. I think you're rolling. Sloppy's like, I'm here for the chaos. Let me get some popcorn. No, this is when it's a sign I should get off stream. But like to go out on a positive, can we all just appreciate this whale smile right now? It's not exactly an adult subject. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for sure. It's not an adult subject. It's just biology. What do you mean I just agreed to go out for dinner? Exactly! Yes, I've been in that situation. Sloppy Salamander. That's what I'm saying. Like, everyone will start laughing and, like, making eyes at each other, and I'm like, yeah, what are we talking about? I don't know. Yeah, no, Sloppy's like, get yourself in trouble, Casey. No, I get myself in trouble plenty. I don't need help. I'm a bumbler. I think I also run into the issue of, like, because I don't really pick up on subtleties like that very well, or at least, like, I don't know, it depends on the subtlety, right? But I've definitely, like, legitimately, like, offended people because they thought I was saying something that I literally was not saying, but because I don't know, I think I just don't know enough colloquialisms, maybe? I don't know, I've gotten myself in some trouble before, and I'm like, I didn't even know that's what that meant, or, like, I wasn't even sure, like, I'm leaving, and I'll just, like, leave. I just run away. I don't know, that's kind of my answer to those situations. They stress me out. There's a little bit of residual social anxiety mixed in there, too. Alright. Let's go out on this, because I like the idea of a little happy whale. He's just a little happy whale. He doesn't know anything about Shark Week of any kind. Just like, doo-doo-doo. I'm just over here breaching and smiling. I was wiped out by yesterday. Yeah. Wait, what happened yesterday? I just got me VIP tickets to an Eagles cover band and a Jimmy Buffett cover band. Wow, that does sound like a... That sounds like a night, for sure. I would be wiped out, too. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream before I get myself in more trouble. But it's been fun learning about whales today, guys. I'll be drawing some more whales later today. I'm gonna do some sketching before stream and kind of get a few... I've got some compositions in mind, but I'd like to put a whale in my portfolio. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna use a humpback whale since that's what we studied today. But they're really fun. If you haven't taken time to study any creatures, go do it. Go do it. Check out, oh, thanks, Amaze. There's all the social places that you can find me if you'd like to find me on any of those spots. And then, go to Pinterest and find some great whale references and draw some cool whales. If you do draw some cool whales and you want to share them, I would love to see them. You don't have to, but you can find in my Discord there is a section that is specifically for warm-up chat art. So feel free to post in there. I'd love to check them out if you have them. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. Let's find an art streamer to raid. Who is online? I need to go find some folks. Oh, we raided Shin last week. Let's raid. Okay, so this is kind of art, right? I mean, it is art. It's not like this kind of art. It's just a different sort of art. So I was kind of poking around on Twitch, trying to find some new channels, new people, and I found a goldsmith. There's this goldsmith, and she's making jewelry right now. So I feel like that's an art. I think we can go watch that. And I hung out on her stream for a while, and it was really nice. It was really cool. I think she's in Germany. So my European friends, you might enjoy getting to know. I think it's Kirtissa, I think is how you say her name. I'm not sure, but it does look like she is making some jewelry. So let's go say hi to her. She was really sweet to hang out with, and I'd love to make her evening, her morning, whatever time it is for her. By giving her a little raid. So if you want to follow me over there and hang out for a little bit, feel free. But thank you guys for hanging out. I really appreciate the company. It's been a fun variety of topics that I wasn't planning on talking about for Whale Day. But I hope you do get to go learn something about whales today. Go watch a documentary. Go look at some photos. Go do something fun that's whale related, guys. Remember our oceanic friends. They're great and they need our help. So. I'm going to go hang out, though, for a few minutes and watch some goldsmithing taking place. So if you want to learn more about that, why don't you join me? And I'll see you later, maybe today,